Now let's turn our attention to Europe. The continent is in crisis. Almost every country you go to, you'll hear the locals complain about the same thing: illegal migration. For years, Europe would pride itself on its open borders. Back in 2015, it opened the gates to over 1 million asylum seekers. At the time, there were celebrations. But now the mood has turned sour. Europe has been suffering economically, especially over the last 4 years because of the Wuhan virus pandemic and then the war in Ukraine. Both events dealt a blow to the European economy. They brought hardships to the locals, and this has turned Europeans against immigrants. They say that if they cannot take care of themselves, how are they supposed to take care of refugees? And this sentiment has been brewing in Europe, and it has led to the rise of anti-immigration politics. Parties considered far right have been gaining traction because of their anti-immigration rhetoric. Parties like the National Rally in France and the Alternative for Germany party. The AfD, in fact, recently won a major victory in the German state elections. They emerged as the biggest party in the state of Thuringia. It seems that this was a wake-up call. It was the first time that a far-right party won a German state election since 1945, since the end of the Second World War, since the Nazi Party. This seems to have alarmed the German government and forced them into taking action. So Germany has reinstated border checks. The police will now randomly check people at the country's northern and western borders. People coming in from France, Belgium, Luxembourg and Denmark. The Germans already had some border controls in place with Poland, the Czech Republic, Austria and Switzerland. Now there will be checks at every border and possibly even more scrutiny in the days to come. The move has drawn positive reactions.
I think it's fine. I actually think it's very good because we here in the border areas suffer particularly from crime, and it can't be right that everyone comes in as they can and want to and nothing is done about it. At some point, you have to think about your own population.
It reminds me of when I was younger, when there were frequent border controls. It's a good thing, I think, because of all the problems we have with immigration. It's the same as in France. They should do the same. They're absolutely right.
So border controls are making a comeback, but that will address just one issue. They may stop immigrants from moving between European countries, but it won't stop migrants from getting to Europe altogether. European countries want to address this too. They want to stop migrants before they reach European shores. And one country has been doing this successfully: Italy. Their Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has reduced immigration. Migrant arrivals are down by 60% compared to last year, 60%. This has caught the rest of Europe's attention. So yesterday, Meloni got her first prospective student, Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer.
I'm here to have discussions here at this coordination centre and with the Prime Minister about how we deal with unlawful migration. And here there's been some quite dramatic reductions, so I want to understand how that came about.
Starmer met Meloni in Rome yesterday. They discussed ways that the UK could stop illegal immigration, especially boats carrying migrants across the English Channel. And there was something else that was discussed, something quite ironic.
We also agree on the fact that we must not fear exploring new solutions. We talked about the Italy-Albania agreement, which is a solution that the British government is showing a lot of interest in.
Starmer discussed Italy's Albania deal with Meloni. For those of you who don't know, Italy is building migrant centers in Albania. Albania is a country in the Balkans. It is a European nation, but it's not a European Union member. Now, Italy plans to send asylum seekers to Albania. Their asylum requests will be processed at the migrant centers. And if approved, these people will be allowed back into Italy. If not, the migrants will be sent back home or to some safe third country. If any of this sounds familiar, it's because the UK had a similar plan. The last British government under Rishi Sunak wanted to send migrants to Rwanda in Africa. Starmer came to power in July and he scrapped the Rwanda plan immediately. But now Italy is doing the same thing, just in Albania instead of Rwanda, and suddenly Keir Starmer is all ears because Italy has successfully curbed immigration. If Starmer does adopt the Albania plan, I'm sure he's going to get a lot of flack. But the fact that he's even listening is a signal. Starmer's Italy visit, Germany's border checks, they're part of the same pattern. European governments have finally realized that illegal immigration is not sustainable. All European parties will now try and stop people from coming in. Because if they don't, they know that if they don't, the people will elect someone else who will.